The horn screams, not from a mouth, from the edge of existence. Gold flashes across the sky. The bridge shudders. Stars feel closer than the ground. At the center of it all stands Heimdall. Blood runs down his armor. Not his blood. Not. Yet, he can already see what's coming. He sees the wolf unhinge its jaw. He sees the fire giant step forward. He sees gods die screaming in the mud. And worst of all, he sees himself. Dead. He could have warned them earlier. He could have stopped this. But Heimdall sees everything. Past, present, possible futures. So here's the paradox. If he saw it coming, why didn't he stop it? Why does the God who sees all always arrive too late? Tonight, we uncover the curse of the Watcher, and why knowledge in the Norse world is a death sentence.
Unveil the legends.
Before the sky burned, there was order. Fragile order. Violent peace. Asgard stood tall, not because it was safe, but because it was watched. The gods slept knowing someone else stayed awake. Not a king, not a warrior drunk on glory, a sentinel. Heimdall was born wrong, too white, too sharp, too aware. They said he could hear grass grow. They said he could see 100 leagues away. They said sleep avoided him out of fear. But gifts like that rot from the inside, because knowing everything means trusting no one. Odin ruled through secrets. Paranoia dressed as wisdom. Every prophecy was a threat. Every son a potential rival. And, watching them all, was Heimdall, standing on the Bifrost, hand on the horn, eyes open. Peace was never peace. It was a countdown. And Heimdall heard every second tick by. The first crack didn't come from the giants. It never does. It came from inside. A whisper sliding through gold halls. A laugh cut short, swallowed. Before it echoed, a god who hated being seen. Loki. Loki didn't fear swords. Steel was honest. Steel gave you a chance. He feared exposure, and Heimdall was exposure incarnate. Every lie Loki told, Heimdall felt it itch behind his eyes, like splinters in the mind. Every illusion scraped against his senses. Every stolen face rang false, like a cracked bell. Loki could fool gods. He could fool giants. He could even fool himself, but not the Watcher. The Watcher saw it all. That's why Loki hated him. Not because Heimdall was stronger. Not because he guarded the bridge, but because Heimdall knew. When the gods mocked Loki, when laughter bounced off stone and gold, Heimdall didn't join in. He stared, a long, quiet stare, and in that silence was a promise. I see the end of you. Loki felt it. A pressure in his chest, a future closing in. So Loki planned his masterpiece. Not a blade, not poison, fate. If Heimdall couldn't be blinded, he would be burdened. Loki wouldn't stop Ragnarok. He would weaponize it, delay the warnings, distract the gods, twist prophecy just enough that truth arrived too late to matter. By the time chaos erupted, it was unstoppable. The sky split open like torn flesh. Ancient chains screamed as they snapped. The dead clawed their way back into memory. Fire walked. Wolves howled. The sea swallowed land. And Heimdall ran, not a way forward, toward the bridge, toward his duty. He lifted the horn, Gjallarhorn. The sound wasn't music. It was a verdict, a scream that crossed worlds, a signal that meant no return. When it rang out, every god knew. This wasn't a battle. This was the end. What if Heimdall wasn't just a watcher? What if he was a witness? In Norse myth, seeing doesn't mean controlling. It never did. Seeing means enduring. Prophecy isn't a warning system. It's a prison sentence. The future is fixed, not because the gods are weak, but because knowledge freezes you in place. The moment Heimdall understood how things end, he lost the ability to change anything. Every vision came with a cost. Every future scene carved another line into his silence. He didn't fail to stop Ragnarok. He was never allowed to, because someone had to remember it. Someone had to watch the gods bleed, the sky tear open, the world drown in fire, and not blink. Someone had to see every death clearly, without madness, without denial, without turning away. That was the bargain. Odin traded an eye for wisdom, a clean wound, a visible price. Heimdall's sacrifice was worse. He gave up innocence. He gave up ignorance. He gave up the mercy of surprise. The curse was never sight. The curse was clarity. He knew which battles mattered and which were theater. He knew which warnings would echo into silence. He knew free will was an illusion dressed in courage, paraded before doomed gods who wanted to believe they still had a choice. So Heimdall stood on the bridge, at the edge of everything, and he waited, even knowing Loki would be the one to kill him, even knowing the fight wouldn't be about good or evil, but inevitability. They would kill each other, like mirrors shattering, like truth collapsing in on itself. Two gods who saw through lies too clearly, and in the end, Heimdall didn't lose. He fulfilled his purpose. He watched the world end. They meet, Heimdall and Loki. No armies behind them, no cheering gods, no tricks left in the dark, just exhaustion. Two figures standing in the ashes of everything they tried to outthink. They fight like men who already read the ending. No hope, no illusion of victory. Blades strike without rhythm. Bone cracks echo like snapped branches. Breath comes out red and wet, steaming in the dying air. There is no elegance, only inevitability, and they fall together. The watcher dies. The liar dies, side by side, equal in failure. And the universe burns anyway. Here's the irony. Heimdall's power was meant to protect the gods, to guard the bridge, to sound the warning, to keep chaos out. But all it ever did was teach him how they would fail. He saw their pride long before their deaths. He heard their excuses before they made them. He knew which gods would run, which would freeze, which would pretend courage was enough. Knowledge didn't save him. It isolated him. Because no, one wants the truth, especially when the truth offers no escape, especially when the truth says this ends badly. That's why this myth survives, because it isn't ancient, it's modern. We scroll. We watch disasters unfold in real time. We know the world is cracking, politically, socially, morally, and still we don't act. We stand on the bridge, eyes open, waiting for the horn, waiting for someone else to scream first. The binge hook, the moral is simple and brutal. Seeing. Everything doesn't make you powerful. It makes you alone. So here's the question. If you knew the end was coming, would you warn the world? Or would you stay silent like Heimdall? Because next time we're talking about the god who did try to escape fate and paid a far worse price. His name was Odin, and his greatest sin was thinking he could outsmart destiny.